They told us growth meant progress, that more money, more spending, and more production were signs of success. But what if that entire idea, the foundation of modern prosperity, was a lie? A lie so powerful it built empires, lifted billions from poverty, and at the same time planted the seeds of our downfall. Because the truth is this: the system that made the world rich was never designed to last. Setting the stage, the birth of the illusion. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to the ashes of World War II. The world was rebuilding. Nations needed hope, growth, and a shared vision of progress. Economists like John Maynard Keynes argued that governments should spend their way out of stagnation. In the United States, emerging as a global superpower, offered a new model of prosperity, one based not on gold, not on limits, but on expansion. In 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement tied global currencies to the US dollar and the dollar to gold. But even then, the seeds of the lie were being sown because the idea of endless growth doesn't fit into a world of limited resources. The rise when debt became the new wealth. By the 1950s and 60s, consumerism became a religion. Homes, cars, televisions, the dream was alive. Corporations expanded, banks multiplied, and credit was no longer a privilege, it was a way of life. Governments learned that by printing more money and expanding debt, they could keep economies growing no matter the real costs. But in 1971, President Richard Nixon made a move that changed everything. He ended the gold standard, severing the link between money and something real. From that moment, money became an idea, infinite, flexible, and manipulatable. The world celebrated this new freedom, but few realized what it meant. The value of everything, your savings, your labor, your future, now depended on confidence alone. The breaking point: growth at any cost. The lie spread fast. Debt-driven economies exploded. Wall Street turned leverage into art. Governments learned they could buy votes with borrowed money. Central banks promised that printing cash could solve any crisis. But behind the illusion of wealth, something was breaking. Real wages stagnated. Inequality surged. In production, the real backbone of prosperity was replaced with speculation. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, the mask slipped. The system built on infinite credit finally choked on its own creation. Banks collapsed, millions lost their homes, and the governments that once promised safety bailed out the very architects of the disaster. And what was the solution? More debt, more money printing, more illusion. Look at the price of the lie today. Global debt has surpassed $300 trillion. Entire nations are drowning in obligations they can never repay. Currencies are devaluing, living costs are soaring, and people are working harder just to stand still. But the markets keep rising. The rich keep getting richer. Why? Because the system rewards those closest to the money, the banks, corporations, and central planners, while everyone else bears the cost of inflation and instability. It's the perfect trap, a machine that must keep expanding to survive, even as it consumes the very foundations of real prosperity. Modern parallels: the cycle repeats. We've seen this before. Rome debased its coins until its empire collapsed. The Weimar Republic printed money until bread cost millions. Every civilization that turned illusion into wealth eventually paid the price. Today's version is digital. Trillions appear with a keystroke. Central banks now experiment with central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, programmable money that could control not just what you spend, but how and when. The illusion has evolved, but the principle is the same: control through creation, wealth through manipulation. Prosperity built on promises that can't be kept. Conclusion: the lesson beneath the lie. So what can we learn from this grand illusion? Takeaway 1. Real wealth isn't printed, it's produced. A healthy economy grows from innovation, hard work, and tangible value, not credit expansion. Takeaway 2. Every system that trades truth for convenience eventually collapses. Takeaway 3. The future will belong to those who understand value, not just price. The lie that made the world rich is still alive, but it's cracking, and when it finally breaks, it will take everything built upon it with it. So the question isn't if the illusion ends, it's whether we'll be ready when it does. Call to action: close strong. If you want to understand how the next financial era will unfold, and how to see through the myths that keep the system alive, hit subscribe, because the more you understand the illusion, the less power it has over you.